They owed their allegiance, their very existence, to Saddam. If they lost, none of them had a bright future in a new Iraq that would be ruled by their religious rivals, the Shiites. The burps and thumps of automatic weapons fire rose in volume and came closer. Explosions popped on the horizon, and the usual thick haze of dust and dirt churned. The Swanson and Dodge teams had inserted during the darkest hours, linked up, and made their way into the eerie stillness of the city before the sun rose. Mike had set up in a house beside a junk-littered field, while Kyle arranged his guys across the street and a half-block up, but within sight of the other team. Straight down the avenue was the broad entry plaza and main doorway of the Haj Mushin Abdulaziz Az Kubaisi Mosque complex, a domed citadel that had surrendered its protected status as a religious site when it was turned into a base for the insurgency. Trashed by looters and airstrikes, the remaining mountain of jagged rubble had become a fortress. That was the prime target today. Whoever controlled that palace and its underground bunkers had the city. From his strong position, Kyle Swanson believed he held the keys to the front door. He watched gunmen pour out of the structure and up over the walls and head for the fighting. He reported the movement. The sniper teams were the eyes and ears of the assault force, gathering intelligence and picking targets, and only later would they exercise their trigger fingers. Let the big assault force do the heavy lifting and roll a couple of Abrams tanks up the main street in front of the old mosque, supported by a battalion of Marines. The bad guys would be concentrating so hard on the armor they wouldn't even know the snipers were at their backs until it was too late. When the hammer closed the trap, the guns of the anvil would erupt to take out specific targets such as officers and radio operators. The forces were almost fully engaged now. Kyle checked his team, all of whom were veterans who suppressed their eagerness with professionalism, and then he let his fingers wander over his big sniper rifle, wiping away dirt. Ready. He was happy that Mike Dodge was at his six. The Marine Corps is a large organization, but a rather small family, and over years of service, any one of them meets many others. He and Dodge had been friends since their miserable days of basic training at Paris Island, and later during Scout Sniper School. They had gone off on their own careers, but stayed in touch. Both had served in the First Iraq War, and afterward Kyle had been an usher at Mike's wedding 2 years ago. The bride's name was Becky. Now it was November 2004, and they were back in the sandbox with the 3rd Battalion 5th Marines for another round. This one called Operation Phantom Fury, with the goal of taming the wild city of Fallujah. Blue Dog 1, hear that?
Copy. Fire decreasing on the outskirts. What's going on, 2?
Dodge had the big radios. There was no answer.
Blue Dog 2.
Yeah, I was just over on the main freak. The attack has stopped. Repeat, the attack has stopped. Kyle kept his eye on the scope. Insurgent fighters were flooding back into the city.
Blue Dog 1 to Blue Dog 2. They're coming our way. I don't see any of our guys chasing them.
Dodge's voice was calm but urgent. Dog 1, we are ordered to exfiltrate immediately. Something is fucked up and the attack stopped at phase line Butler.
They want us to leave a place that's filling up with enemy fighters in broad daylight? Let's just stay here and keep quiet until it gets dark.
He wanted to know what had gone wrong, but shit happens in war, and he would think about that later. Staying alive was now the higher priority. Negative. Those bad guys are being flushed right toward us, and they'll be in every building. We don't have until dark. Kyle could see it unfolding. The attacking armored force had drawn up in a line outside the city and was laying down a massive barrage that was driving the insurgents back and making them hunt cover. The Marine infantry, however, was not in pursuit, although the enemy was scattering like a gaggle of scared cats.
Coming this way, fast. You're right, Blue Dog 2. This is untenable.
As if to make the point, a fighter seeking safety from the barrage threw open the booby-trap door of their building, and the explosion shook the entire structure and drew